What's up, people? It's your favorite cousin, Rich, back again. And I'm elated to bring you episode 40 of Rich Talks. It is currently Friday, October 11th, 11:58 a.m. I'm a little late today. Slept in. Well, I was up all night, so by the time it was time for me to record, I was like, let me just go to sleep. You know, a little change in the pace as long as you get it done, right? Okay. So today, we're going to discuss the quiet desperation that we have right now in this modern life that we live. And when I saw this topic, it stumped me for a while. It really did. It stumped me because I was trying to figure out how I was going to come about it. I tried to look at the topic a little bit before I go. But this one, I'm not going to lie, kind of stumped me. But this is how I'm going to break it down. In this modern life, how we have all these abilities to be able to connect to people, be closer to people, you know, we should feel more engaged with people. For some reason, we're not as connected as we could be. And this is surprising because before all this technology, we seem to be much more closer. Even if you simply think about a long time ago, we were able to remember people's phone numbers because we had to, you know. Now, we don't remember anybody's phone number. We barely remember our own phone number. So I asked this question. This is the first question, the first thing that pops up in my mind. And this is going to be more so free thought, free form than anything, this topic of conversation. But I say, because we have easier connections at our fingertips, and we're not forced, in a sense, to engage in these connections, do we take the ability to connect with people, do we take it for granted? And the reason why I say do we take this for granted is because when you're forced to remember somebody's number, or you don't have the ability to connect with someone as easy as we do in today's modern times, we don't take advantage of it. Excuse me, let me take that back. When we didn't have the ability to connect with people, we took more advantage of that than we do now when we have easier abilities to connect with people and we don't. So it goes back into the realm of thinking of, are we taking it for granted, the ability that we have to connect with people because it's at our fingertips? You know, like somebody who doesn't appreciate someone in a relationship, they take them for granted because they're always there. And then the moment when they're not there, they wish they were there, you know? But not everything in this modern life that we have at our abilities or at our fingertips is necessarily for the good. You know, it's like a double-edged sword. Because we have the ability to contact someone in the drop of a dime, that might not always be the best thing, because we may either misuse the time that we have, meaning, remember, before there were phones, we had to write letters. So when you wrote your letter, you had time to properly think about what you wanted to put in your letter. You knew this person had to read it, so you wanted to ensure that it was as best as possible and all these things, and you didn't want to waste that person's time and all this. But now we have the ability to call somebody at a drop of a dime and send a text message. So we're not concise in why we're contacting this person. You know, we're not utilizing it to the best of our abilities. You know, it's like we'll call someone and just talk and not really getting on anything, versus a long time ago we had to write a letter and we got straight to the point. Even when you look at things like before I get to that point, I wait. It seems like the tools that were brought, or the tools that were created for us in these modern times, instead of bringing us closer, it more so isolates us. And that goes to thinking, is it a danger? Is having the access or the ability to more so dangerous? Or did we lose the skills that we once had to be able to connect with people? You know, now that we have phones and text messaging and all this type of thing, social media and all that, for some reason we don't even know how to communicate anymore. Hold a decent conversation. Even something as simple as looking someone in their eyes while they're communicating to give them, that your undivided attention. That's something that we fail at nowadays. And is that due to the advancement of technology? That we have so many other ways of communicating that the communication skills that humans were brought up on are starting to lack? And I would say, what's the danger of that? People don't have confidence to talk to someone, approach someone anymore. That social skill is lacking. And I would say that this is just in the Western world, but as we know, a lot of other countries follow the Western world in our advancements, unless they're a country who has strong pride in themselves, or unless there's a country who has their own way of doing things and they're stuck to it. Then they probably won't follow the West. But a lot of countries do follow the West. So this phenomenon that we have of easy communication but loss of social skills, is it something that's going to spread the world? That could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous. Even the advancements of when you would call, when you would call a certain company or, to get something handled, you speak to an operator. Nowadays, we don't even have operators anymore to handle. We have to talk to something robotic or something like that. We get automated messages and all these things. The human connection that once glued everything together is falling apart due to capitalism. People want cheaper wages. So instead of having a call center of 50 people to answer phone calls, they reduce it to 30 and have it automated and hope people will get frustrated before they even get to speak to someone. To me, I honestly believe that's one of the reasons why they have these automated, voice systems and stuff like that when you call the phone company or the bill company, And so they hope you get frustrated before you even get to speak to someone. All these things that are supposed to make life easier, are they really? I feel like they only make life easier if you're conscious about it. If you're not conscious about the tools that you're utilizing, then it can be very detrimental. What do they say? The same hammer that can build a house can destroy a home? The same hammer that can build can destroy. It's the same thing, the same technology advancements, the same things that we have in this modern life that could be used to build and to help. That probably intentions when it was being created, its pure intentions was to help. Sadly to say, it's starting to destroy. So do we put that in the realm of it's the people who's created it fault, or is it human nature? Was it the person who created the phone? Was it their reason to say, okay, in 15, 20 years, they would take human communication for granted and not communicate anymore because they have it at their fingertips? Or is it just humans and we just do that? We tend to may take things for granted that we maybe shouldn't, and it's just something human that we do. That's a good question, but if I would bet my dollar on it, I would say it's the latter. The latter. I would say it's just something that humans do, that we take things for granted once it becomes a convenience, unless we're openly conscious about it. Like I said, you may take your partner for granted, knowing that they are always there for you. You may start to take them for granted and not appreciate them until they leave, until they're not there. So same thing, we may take for granted the easy communication we have with people until what? They're no longer there. Or until we don't have that ability to communicate with people as easily anymore. It's all a toss-up. But that's what I would bet my dollar on. Even when we step into the realm of things like social media. Social media is probably the biggest example of how modern technology can be more harmful than good if you're not conscious about what you're doing. In this new age, people are making money, people are living life off of social media. Being able to utilize social media to create finances, using social media to expand their brands or create a brand, and all these beautiful things, which is a wonderful thing. And even if people are not on social media to create these brands or make money and things of that sort, you still have people on social media who utilize it to connect to people, people that they would have never met, people who are like-minded individuals, but due to not having these technological advancements, people weren't able to connect with each other. We're able to spread news quicker. We're able to do a lot of things, connect with old friends, and share pictures and all these beautiful things. But the dark side of it, the dark side of the social media would be if you're not consciously aware of what's going on. I'm gonna wait a second. Some guy playing saxophone in the park, in case you're wondering. Okay. So the same social media that was used to connect and to help build and all these things is the same one that could destroy your mental. And you say, how can it destroy your mental? I'm pretty sure you know. But let me break it down. If you're not mentally strong enough, or if you're not psychologically aware or consciously aware of what's going on, social media could be the most dangerous thing that's out here. How? Comparison. Simply that, comparison. You're able to see at a quick glimpse what someone else has that you may not have, what someone else is doing that you may not be doing. Even down to the likes and follows and all these things that, this person may have that you may not have. So now you judge your self-worth and who you are based upon your likes, your views, or you start comparing what this person may have that you don't have And now, like I said, you start to lessen your self-worth, your value based off of these things. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy. And in the age that we live in, because people are able to gain quote-unquote clout off of social media, means that it's a lot more people who may not be telling the truth on these platforms, you know? Because if I know that I could make a living off of posting on these platforms, some people are not righteous in what they do or how they gain success. So what'll happen? They might start lying, posting things that's not true, fabricating a lifestyle, all these things in order to what? Present themselves in a way that they are not. In order for what? The outcome to gain financial income or attention. And we have to remember now, people no longer want money, they want attention. Attention is the new currency. You know? So now that we have established that people will fake a lifestyle, people will fake a lot of things in order to gain or garner attention, we have people who are not consciously aware of this. We have people who are so caught up into present a lifestyle that we lose our soul. You know, it's funny that a lot of things out here we get caught up in, and the final outcome is us losing our soul. And I just want to take this time to say that your soul is very valuable. So now we have these things like algorithms, where it can put certain content or certain things, certain information, certain things before your eyes because this computer-generated program believes this is what you would be interested in based off of what you already spend your time on. So if you are just zombie scrolling, or if you are just looking at things just because and you're not conscious of what you're paying attention to, let's say, for instance, you're looking at people who are living this lavish lifestyle of all these cars. So the algorithm will pick up on that's something that you're always looking at, or that's something that you're interested in once you watch 3 videos of the same thing. So now what this algorithm will do is it'll constantly put that type of content in front of you. So if you're not consciously aware that that's what it's doing, you would think that that's what everybody has. You would think that's what everybody's doing. Further leading to a disintegration of your mental peace. You know, you watch one video that this person just bought a car at 18, and this person just bought a supercar at 18, and this person just bought a supercar at 18. And now you start thinking, damn, everybody at 18 bought a fucking supercar. Excuse my language. For people who, you know, I don't mind cussing, but, you know, some people it hurts their ears. So now you start feeling down about yourself. You start feeling worthless or useless, or you're not doing enough. That your self-worth is in the tank. All because this computer-generated algorithm is pushing all this content to the forefront. Well, if you're consciously aware of it, then you're able to say, oh no, they're just putting this content in front of me because this is what I clicked on. But I have the power to say, not interested, not interested, not interested. And you have the power to go search for something else that puts more calm and peace into your mind. And now you'll be flooded with that. So like I said, I don't think these programs were inherently made to cause destruction. It might just be how some of us humans are wired. How some of us may not be strong enough to be on these platforms and things of that sort. because of the ability it has to cause a reality shift, a false reality shift. Well, let me take back false, because it is a real reality shift in your eyes, but in the sense of what true reality is false. Another thing in the modern world that's a doozy. I like that word, doozy. Well, another thing that's in the modern world that's a doozy that I have once already spoken about is the illusion of progress. You know, and sometimes it's not always righteous progress. And sometimes the progress that we only see, or the only progress that we validate, is material progress or progress for the modern world. But we never embrace spiritual progress, mental progress, health progress. You know, we only promote progress that can be seen and validated by others, and never ones that can be validated by ourselves and only ourselves, or the ones that's closest to us. Now, is this something that is in the modern world that's just been brought up? I wouldn't necessarily say yes. I would say this is something that's been magnified. I would say it's magnified by the world that we're living in now, but it hasn't been. It's that just started now. You know, only shooting for progress that can be validated by others is scary. It's like you're building a home, but the inside is, it's like you build a home of brick, but the inside is like cardboard. You know, it looks good on the outside, but on the inside it's like, what the fuck? I feel like the biggest issue with that is that we do these things for validation. I think that's the only reason why a lot of us promote progress, or a lot of people seek progress. It's for validation, and not for true inner peace or true inner wisdom or elevation. You know, we want progress so we could stunt, we could flex. But we never want progress because it's gonna let us rise higher. Let us reach our highest self. So now you waste your time trying to gain this progress, or the progress in life, just to be validated by people who's doing the same thing. It seems like nobody validates themselves. So we end up in this whirlpool of the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Of seeking validation, and then going to the depths of comparison. Then seeking more validation, then going to the depths of more validation. And seeking more comparison and looking in the depths of more validation. It almost seems like that's the human psyche. Or that's the untrained human psyche. That's the untrained human mind. Like I say, if you're not conscious, if you're not consciously aware of what you're doing, I think this is what you end up doing. You're stuck in this loop-de-loop. Now, what I will say is, I believe that even though these technology advancements and all these things that have been brought about in this modern world that we live in were brought for good, I do believe that some powers that be understand humans and our psyche, and they have tailored some of these things to work out in their benefit and not ours. And because we live in this capitalistic society and not a society who really cares about your mental health and well-being and everything that comes along with it, because we live in these type of societies and that's not regulated, algorithms are not regulated. Social media content posting for mental health is not regulated. Or, being able to ensure that you're mentally able to be on social media is not regulated. Because I believe you should be able to be mentally healthy before you even hop on social media. Just like you have to have a driver's license before you drive a car, I believe you have to take a mental health test before you're able to hop on social media. But because these spaces aren't regulated, that's why we have things like algorithms. Now, were algorithms inherently created for evil? That's scary. That's scary to tell you because, like I said, in the society that we live in, it's a thin line. It's almost like when these corporations know how people think, or they have people who are psychiatrists and psychologists and all these things, know how these people think and move, and say, hey, we can gain more money if we add these things, then there you go. So that's the scary part about it. All in all, what do? It's nothing that you really can do. Like I said, these things aren't inherently bad, nor good. I believe they have more benefit, but the equal benefit that they have can be equal detriment. I just say you have to be consciously aware of what you're doing at all times. You have to be consciously aware that if you hop on one of these sites and you find your mental is starting to decline or you're starting to feel some type of way about certain things, then you should hop off. How you doing? You have to be mentally aware about these things, or else they'll pull you under. And then they pull you under, it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. And this is deep. And the reason why I say it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome is because the same place that you went to seek your validation from, or the same place that you went to go seek what's going on and you got emotionally hurt or scarred, is the same place you go back to see if, what you're doing is validated. So you're constantly in this tug of war with these sites and this content, or these sites and these, these channels. You're constantly at a tug of war of validation. Validating to see if what you're doing is good enough, and then validating to see if what you have going on or what you have is equal to what others have going on. The new car that someone just posted, is your car equal enough to what this person has? And then on the flip side, if your outfit that you posted is validated by those around you. That's why I said that it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. The same abuser is who you go to for validation. You can't get away. And then I would say again, is that by design, by the people who created these things, or is it just humans? And honestly, I would say it's both. And the only reason why I say it's both is because of the society and world that we live in, that it's ran off corporate greed. So again, how do we fix these things? It's only one simple solution. Just be conscious about what you're doing. If you're openly conscious about what you're doing and you're at peace and you validate yourself, then the social media and all these things can't be used but nothing but a tool. Again, this is episode 40. This was not a tough one, but it was a different one for me. The quiet desperation of the modern life we live. I'm probably going to retitle it to something. But yeah, hope this talk helps somebody. This your favorite cousin. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.